Have you ever stopped to wonder why some people manage to become rich while others spend their whole lives trying and never get there? The answer isn't luck, privilege, or destiny. The real reason most people never achieve financial freedom is much simpler and far harder to admit. The truth is, most people are trapped in a cycle of excuses so well built that they don't even notice it. They say things like, "I don't have time," "I don't have money to start," or "the economy is bad." But behind every excuse lies one thing: fear of taking responsibility. And that's where it all begins. As long as you believe your success depends on something outside of you, you'll keep waiting for life to change, when in reality, the change you need is already within you, waiting to be awakened. Since childhood, we've been conditioned to believe that wealth is reserved for a lucky few, those born under a lucky star, blessed with talent or opportunity. That lie has been passed down from generation to generation, quietly shaping the way we think. In school, we're rarely taught about money. At home, we hear phrases like, "money doesn't bring happiness," or "better to be poor but honest." Over time, these messages form invisible barriers in our minds, limiting beliefs that keep us from even trying to change. People grow up thinking wealth is an event, not a process, a gift, not a construction. But that's the trap. Wealth is not destiny, it's discipline. It's built through vision, persistence, and the courage to act when others only wish. Until you break that cultural lie, you'll keep thinking life chooses who wins, when in truth, it's you who chooses your own destiny. The excuse cycle is one of the most dangerous enemies of progress. It starts subtly, almost invisibly, and before you know it, you're stuck in it. First, you feel motivated to change. You want to start a business, study, invest, grow. Then, your mind begins to whisper, "What if it doesn't work? You don't have time for this," or "now isn't the right moment." These voices are just fear disguised as logic. You think you're being rational, but you're just sabotaging yourself. Each excuse you make strengthens the invisible chain that keeps you still. Worse yet, this cycle feeds on frustration. The longer you wait, the more convinced you become that success is impossible. And slowly, dreams fade and regret takes their place. Real freedom begins when you recognize this pattern, because as long as excuses exist, progress can't. There comes a moment in every successful person's life, the turning point, when they stop pointing fingers outward and start looking inward. That's the moment everything changes. You realize no one is coming to save you. No boss, no government, no luck will decide your fate. There's only one person truly responsible for your results: you. At first, responsibility feels heavy, but it's actually liberating. When you finally admit that your current reality is the result of your own choices or your lack of them, you gain power. Victimhood fades, and action takes its place. The difference between winners and complainers lies right there. Winners stop blaming and start building. The world doesn't change when you complain. It changes when you take control and create your own story. The gap between the poor mindset and the wealthy mindset isn't about how much you earn, it's about how you think and act daily. The poor mindset views life through survival. "I just want to pay my bills," "I can't afford this," or "it's too risky." The wealthy mindset sees through opportunity. How can I make my money work for me? What can I learn to grow? How can I multiply what I already have? One cuts costs, the other builds assets. One fears risk, the other studies it and turns it into reward. The difference lies in small daily decisions: to invest instead of spend, to act instead of complain, to create instead of consume. Wealth isn't an event, it's the cumulative result of consistent habits over time. And changing your mindset costs nothing. It just requires awareness. True wealth begins in the mind long before it reaches your bank account. The missing step for most people isn't knowledge or opportunity, it's action with purpose. Many know what to do, but few actually do what they know. And that gap between knowing and doing separates dreamers from achievers. Random action isn't enough. It must have direction. Purpose gives your effort meaning. It's what keeps you moving when motivation fades. Those who act with purpose don't need constant inspiration because they understand the value of consistency. But action alone means nothing without repetition. Small steps taken every day create massive transformation. That's how wealth is built, decision by decision, day by day. Purpose is the engine. Consistency is the fuel that drives you to the top. The fear of failure is the silent thief of dreams. It disguises itself as caution, but it's really paralysis in disguise. The human brain avoids pain, and failure feels like pain. The pain of trying and not succeeding. So most people avoid trying at all. They live in the "what if it doesn't work" instead of the "what if it does." Fear distorts reality, making failure look final, when in truth, it's just part of the journey. Every successful person has failed countless times. Failure is a teacher wearing a mask. The real failure isn't falling, it's refusing to get back up. Each time you let fear decide, you give away an opportunity. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving forward despite it. That's the mindset that builds true wealth, the kind that starts inside before showing outside. Procrastination is the graveyard of dreams. How many times have you said, "I'll start tomorrow," and never did? That's where the 5-minute rule comes in. It's a simple yet powerful psychological hack. The rule says, if something feels overwhelming, commit to doing it for just 5 minutes. That's it. It tricks your brain into lowering resistance because 5 minutes seem easy. But once you start, something magical happens. Movement creates motivation. Those 5 minutes turn into 30, an hour, a full project. The secret to success isn't waiting for motivation. It's creating momentum. Action comes first, inspiration follows. The 5-minute rule breaks mental inertia and rewires your habits. Start small, but start. Those tiny 5-minute wins are what build discipline, consistency, and, eventually, wealth. Nothing inspires more than real stories of people who stopped making excuses and changed their financial lives. There are countless examples of individuals who went from debt and stagnation to success and abundance. What do they all have in common? A decision to take full responsibility and act even when it felt impossible. Some began with small daily changes, cutting unnecessary expenses, finding side income, learning about investments. Others took bold leaps, starting a business, switching careers, facing their fears, and step by step, their lives transformed. There's no magic formula, only consistent action. Each intentional choice compounded over time into massive results. That's the truth. Success rewards the doers, not the dreamers. And now we arrive at the ultimate truth: decision. The difference between those who keep dreaming and those who actually achieve financial freedom is one choice. Not luck, not timing, choice. The choice to act, to stop making excuses, to own your future completely. Every excuse you make is a brick in the wall between you and your goals. Every action you take is a crack in that wall, until one day it falls completely. The path to wealth isn't easy or fast, but it's simple. Start today, stay consistent, learn from mistakes, and never quit. The universe doesn't reward waiting, it rewards motion. So decide right now, will you keep dreaming, or will you finally take the step that leads to the life you've always wanted? Your future wealth starts the moment you stop talking and start doing.